So insurance carriers today are faced with an increasing regulatory burden as regulators ask for more and more data calls, more detail, higher level of frequency, potentially getting closer to private data or company-specific competitive data that the carriers are increasingly reluctant to give over. Certainly, the burden for each carrier, when these calls are focused on really the largest carriers delivering insurance products in those states, is really a disproportionate burden, and it's an increasing burden that never really seems to go down and offers very little value back to the carriers today. Regulators are making additional data calls of carriers in order to better understand the risks facing their populations, the citizens for whom they are responsible to ensure that that state is able to effectively operate and be resilient when faced with the disasters that state uniquely faces. So regulators are going to the industry to understand and requesting more data to better understand these risks, which is getting increasingly personal, higher degree of frequency, and increasingly disruptive, particularly for some of the largest carriers. Operationally for those carriers it hurts, but also they're missing a large portion of the market that is not necessarily served by the largest carriers in the industry. So AAIS for over 85 years has been the trusted intermediary between the insurance industry and the regulators, where we have been aggregating data from all the carriers' experience in the market, summarizing and interpreting that data and presenting it to regulators so they understand what risks are facing their market and what the trends are in the insurance industry that are of specific concern to their jurisdictions. So over the last 5 years, AAIS has taken this responsibility further to heart and leveraging currently available technology as well as our own modernized infrastructure, we can deliver a much more valuable service to the industry, both to carriers, regulators, and ultimately policyholders, with more trust and transparency in the process itself, and additional opportunity to extend the experience of insurance, again, to better serve all the emerging exposures that we find. AAIS has built the next generation of regulatory reporting, leveraging blockchain technology, specifically the Hyperledger platform, and working closely with IBM to make sure that this is an enterprise, secure, private platform to take the process of regulatory reporting, make it far more efficient and valuable to everybody participating in it. But the blockchain platform allows us the ability to extend that functionality into the insurance operations far into the future with very exciting new opportunities for experiences, products, and value to policyholders and regulators and everyone in between. So regulators are faced with the challenge of understanding the changing trends and specific impacts of events facing their jurisdiction. openIDL allows the aggregation of that data much more both transparently and rapidly to provide regulators insights into what's happening in a much more timely way. In addition, as regulators are looking for more information about the next trend or the next catastrophe, they have a better idea of what's available in the industry that they can ask questions of. In addition, they can collaborate with carriers to formulate the right question, giving them enough detail and in a timely enough fashion so that they're not creating undue burden for the insurance carriers, but also able to answer the question that faces their jurisdiction. So the value for carriers starts with the private permission network that blockchain establishes, allowing the storage of increasingly detailed, private, and protected data without releasing control or replicating that data in other environments, but allowing that data to be activated for all kinds of new value. We have existing streams of data that we've been collecting for decades that have gone to regulators to answer their specific questions, but have not gone back to add value back to the industry or to the carriers that have an increasing burden to provide that data to regulators. For the industry as a whole, the openIDL creates this foundation for a data repository that allows the safe place for that data to be activated without being released or losing control of it, maintaining security and privacy, and only access to that data or to the insights provided by that data to those that have permission. So that is it's a broad statement, but what that means for the industry is a whole new potential for experiences, all kinds of different products, all kinds of different integrations of insurance and risk management into different aspects of your life. So insurance is less of a ultimately is less of a burdensome process, but rather than something that happens as a result of your living your life and adding and changing exposures to yourself or your business. So openIDL, we're looking at a variety of different use cases to build off of the standard or the regulatory data streams that we have today to serve additional stakeholders beyond the carriers and the regulators, as well as adding more value to the carriers and the regulators. So we're looking at use cases involving reinsurers, program administrators and brokers, and even all the way down to potential use by policyholders is where things can really get exciting as we have a larger scale impact to society and integration with other emerging technologies like secure identification, quantum computing, telematics and Internet of Things, and all the different devices that we're increasingly connected to.